Athens residents gathered together on the steps of the courthouse to show their support for those who know where to call home. Good evening, I'm Erica King, and thank you for joining us. WOUB's Caitlin Marshall was there and joins us live in the newsroom with more. Caitlin? Caitlin?
Explain evil to them.
Just hours earlier, the Ohio House sided with presidential hopeful and Ohio Governor John Kasich. They do not want Ohio or the United States to accept any more Syrian refugees. Kasich and the House are concerned that resettling Syrian refugees in Ohio has major safety and security issues. Immigrant rights groups argue that states don't have legal authority to block refugees from being resettled. Stick with us to find out the route other states are taking in the refugee crisis later on in the show. A century-old Athens church is being reborn as a history museum. The renamed Southeast Ohio Historic Center, formerly the Athens County Historical Society, will triple its space when it moves from its current location on Court Street to the First Christian Church. The church dates back to 1916 and housed hundreds of soldiers who were preparing to ship out during World War I. The nonprofit museum will open in the spring. A new injection well in Athens County may be in the works. The Ohio Division of Oil and Gas Resources Management is considering an application for the drilling of a new injection well in Rome Township. If the current application is approved, it will become the 9th injection well in Athens County. And City Council passed a resolution last night. It requests Wayne National Forest to withhold releasing any lands or mineral rights to the Bureau of Land Management until an environment impact statement is approved. Councilmember Pipe cites economic and health concerns as a reason to wait.
How's it going, folks? I'm Josh Gregory with your Newswatch weather, and if you've been outside, you may have witnessed that today's temperatures are a little warmer than what we're used to in the month of November. We're sitting at 62 degrees right now, and that's going to feel a little bit cooler with wind speeds at about 6 miles per hour coming in from the southeast. But hold on, because those wind speeds are going to continue to get faster. We can expect some gusts of about 20 miles per hour heading our way at around 8 p.m. tonight. And our pressure right now is listed at 30.14 inches. Now, if we take a look at our temperatures around the area, you'll see that they're also relatively warm. Columbus, Newark, and Cambridge are sitting about 60 degrees right now up north in our area, 61 for New Lex, 62 down in Ripley as we get into West Virginia, and 62 degrees at our southernmost point in Ironton. Now here is a look at temperatures you can expect tonight. 56 degrees at 8 p.m. Still pretty warm on your way home from work. And then that'll stay around the same as we hit 12 at midnight, and as we go to 4 in the morning, only dropping to 55 degrees. So pretty warm temperatures considering the time of the year that we're in. And you can expect some fairly cloudy skies tonight. So not a whole lot of clear skies. And that's something you can expect tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday. So I'm going to throw it on over back to Erica.
Carrying a concealed gun without any type of training or background check could be the new norm here in Ohio. State House reporter Katie Anderson explains how it all hinges on a proposed House bill.
If you want to carry a firearm in Ohio, you can do so openly. But if you want to hide it, or in other words, conceal it, you have to get a permit, which requires training and a background check. Well, a proposed bill could get rid of these requirements and allow anyone who can buy a gun to carry a concealed weapon. With her safety gear on and her gun locked and loaded, Laura Tetris is aiming for her concealed carry permit.
I've had interest in guns, but I've been terrified of them. I realize that's only because I don't know anything about them.
Tetris is overcoming her fear at an Armed to Defend class, training she thinks everyone needs before handling a gun.
I would not feel comfortable at all, and that's why I'm here. Not necessarily to carry a gun with me everywhere I go, but if I ever had to, and if I ever had to use a gun, I just think this is a great class.
We don't want that to happen. We want it to be safe.
That's Kevin Sideski, an instructor at Armed to Defend, teaching a required one-day class to people who want to get their concealed carry permit.
How to safely use the pistol, how to safely store the pistol, how to store the ammunition, and then you're also going to learn the gun handling. So how do you handle the pistol so that you're doing it safely and you're also effective with the gun.
But Sideski's class may not be required for long. A proposed House bill would no longer require taking the safety class, allowing Ohioans to get their permit without any training, an idea Sideski supports.
Why is the difference between concealed carry and open carry? There's really no difference. I'm still carrying a loaded gun.
Sideski says getting gun safety training should be the person's responsibility, not a requirement from the government.
As an individual, you have to decide what training you need, and it is a good idea. Get the training. I'm all for the training. I think the training is really important, but just like I can go to the store and buy a gun, I don't need the training to buy a gun, or to open carry, I don't need the training.
Critics argue that the one required class is not enough training for an average person. That includes Jennifer Thorne with the Ohio Coalition Against Gun Violence.
Our current permitting system is not nearly stringent enough, and they've actually just reduced the training that's been required for that, and now they're wanting to get rid of it completely. It's completely unacceptable.
Back on the shooting range, Tetris was shocked when she heard training might be optional for future gun users.
I can't see how that's a good idea. If you don't know how to use a gun and don't have proper training on how to fire a gun and the safety of storing a gun, I think that's dangerous.
But a co-sponsor of the bill, Republican Representative Tom Brinkman, says the change is quite simple.
Anyone can legally purchase a handgun, can carry it lawfully without a permit, so long as it is visible or open carry. That legal protection changes once a person puts on a jacket that covers up the handgun. House Bill 152 simply allows that same legal gun owner to carry while wearing a jacket.
Now, it is legal in 6 states to carry a concealed weapon without a permit. So far, the bill has gone through 2 hearings, but has since stalled in committee. Reporting from the State House, I'm Katie Anderson.
2 hours ago, the House passed a bill that allows guns in places such as colleges, daycares, and on private aircrafts. The bill keeps a ban on concealed weapons in government buildings unless an agency decides to allow them. It was also revised earlier this year to remove houses of worship, which is not on the list of places where the weapons would be allowed. A House also passed a bill that diverts more than $1 million away from Planned Parenthood. The proposal targets grants Planned Parenthood receives through the state's health department. The public dollar support initiatives that include HIV testing, breast and cervical cancer screenings, and prevention of violence against women. The Senate has passed a similar bill. Over 7,000 Ohioans are having their student loans forgiven. State Attorney General Mike DeWine announced that nearly $11 million in students' loans will be forgiven. This is part of a federal statement with Pennsylvania-based Education Management Corporation, which runs for-profit trade schools and colleges. The firm also agreed to better inform prospective students about the costs and pledged to reform its recruiting practices. Secretary of State John Kasich strategizes with the French president, what he says the U.S. needs to do. And the Ohio House has sided with Kasich on the Syrian refugee issue. Next on Newswatch, we will take a look at what Republican presidential candidates are saying about the controversy. It's all coming up next.
I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
The prospect of bringing Syrian refugees into the United States has become a polarizing topic. And Andrew Spencer reports Republican presidential candidates have come out strongly on one side.
President Barack Obama made it very clear how he feels about the idea of accepting Christian but not Muslim refugees.
That's shameful. That's not American. It's not who we are.
But Senator Ted Cruz, the son of Cuban refugees who fled to the United States, defended such a religious test for refugees coming out of Syria.
There is no doubt that millions of people are suffering from the rise of radical Islamic terrorism. Christians are suffering, Jews are suffering, and other Muslims are suffering.
But you're
They're
saying
being
Muslims
persecuted.
shouldn't be allowed in the U.S.?
What I'm saying is Syrian Muslim refugees should be resettled in the Middle East, in majority Muslim countries.
Several Republican presidential candidates have come out strongly against the U.S. accepting refugees from Syria.
I will oppose them coming. We should be relocating them in the region.
I do not believe that we should be bringing them here.
More than 24 governors, most of them Republican, have pledged not to accept refugees in their states.
We have simply instructed all of our state agencies not to process any paperwork or anything relating to that.
The director of the CIA says the U.S. should not isolate itself by closing off its borders.
That is inconsistent with what I think our societies have been founded on over the last several hundreds of years.
I'm Andrew Spencer, reporting.
As we told you earlier in the half hour, Ohio is one of those more than 24 states that isn't accepting refugees. Incoming Governor Matt Bevin has also said he will not accept refugees in his state of Kentucky. No word yet from West Virginia Governor Earl Ray Tomblin whether or not the Mountain State will deny Syrian refugees to find haven there. And many countries are also putting bans on Syrian refugees. This comes after last Friday's deadly attacks in Paris that left more than 100 people dead. Secretary of State John Kerry met with French President Francois Hollande in Paris today. After the meeting, Kerry expressed President Obama's condolences for those lost in the Paris terror attacks. And he said the U.S. and France needs to boost their efforts to hit the core of ISIS.
We're absolutely committed to increasing our efforts in every degree possible, and thoughtfully, carefully. My sense is that everybody understands that with Lebanon's attacks, with what's happened in Egypt, with Ankara, Turkey, with the attacks now in Paris, we have to step up our efforts to hit them at the core, where they're planning these things.
In Washington next week to meet with President Obama. President Hollande has also canceled his trip to the G20 summit in Turkey, following the attack. He has since declared a war on ISIS. As French investigators uncover new links between the men who carried out Friday's attacks and ISIS leaders in Syria, sources say a Belgian man, Abdelhamid Abdouad, was the mastermind behind the attacks. And authorities believe he was in direct contact with ISIS chief Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. According to media reports, France says it has launched more airstrikes on ISIS targets in the terror group's self-declared capital. The Defense Ministry says 10 planes dropped 16 bombs in and around Raqqa on Tuesday. And the Ministry of Defense announced Tuesday France has deployed the aircraft carrier Charles de Gaulle to the eastern Mediterranean to assist in anti-ISIS airstrikes. Authorities say a Russian passenger jet that crashed over the Sinai was brought down by a bomb. Alexander Bartkanov, head of the Federal Security Service, was quoted by Russian state media today saying the bomb contained an estimated 2 pounds of explosives. Metrojet Flight 9268 crashed on October 31st after departing from the Egyptian resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. In a statement today, Russian President Vladimir Putin said he will find those responsible and they will be punished.
The murder of our people in Sinai is one of the bloodiest in terms of the number of victims of such crimes. We won't easily wipe away the tears in our hearts and souls. It will stay with us forever. But that will not prevent us from finding and punishing the perpetrators.
The Russian government is offering a reward of $50 million to anyone with information about the people who brought the plane down. And on Wall Street today, falling oil prices overshadowed strong earnings from giant retailers Walmart and Home Depot. Here's a look at stocks of local interest.
We've got mostly cloudy skies tonight, and with that, we can expect some strong gusts coming our way with wind speeds of about 20 miles per hour today and tomorrow. And tomorrow night, expect some rain showers. I got more of that in my extended forecast. Stay tuned.
I support one student in college with a scholarship. Just the way I want to pass on a legacy of education. I would like to pass PBS on to the next generation. I like to think that PBS is concerned with our soul. If your soul is in the right place, you're in giving back.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Back in the Weather Center we are, and here I am with your extended forecast. We're sitting about 62 degrees right now. I've been saying that wind speeds are gonna pick up tonight. Expect some gusts of about 20 mile per hour winds. And then right now our pressure is sitting about 30.14 inches. So looking at our temperatures in our area, you've got 60 degrees up in the northern part of our area, Columbus, Newark, and Cambridge. And as we get down, 62 right here in Athens, like I said, 60, that same temperature is in Ripley and down in Ironton. Now looking overnight, temperatures not going to get very cool tonight. They're going to stay relatively warm considering the time of year that we are in. So you can expect some upper to lower 50s for those temperatures. And going into tomorrow, this might be our last day of November with some of these warm temperatures. We're in lower to mid 70s. So go out, enjoy that while you can, because we may expect some rain. So looking into our almanac, you can see 69 degrees is our high today. That's a lot higher than 55, which is a normal, and pretty close to our record 79. And on the flip side, 51 is our low, a lot warmer than 35 and a lot warmer than the average 13 degrees. So looking at our national map, you can see this right here is where we're going to see some of those storm systems coming our way tonight and tomorrow. It's going to push its way into our area, this high pressure system, pushing these storm systems all the way over here, just over Ohio, and they're going to keep going east and out of our area. 50 degrees is our temperature tonight, so pretty warm, but it's going to be mostly cloudy, so not a whole lot of clear skies tonight. Winds picking up around that too, and that's going to carry into tomorrow. 55 degrees at the bus stop. Pretty warm. May want a light jacket for the kids at the bus stop, maybe some gloves. It's going to be mostly cloudy, and those clouds are going to keep rolling in, and with that, we're going to see some rain coming in our way at around 5 p.m. tomorrow. Like I said, 71 degrees, so it is going to be warm. Enjoy it. It may be our last day of those pretty warm temperatures in the month of November. But with that, we're going to have gusts of about 34 miles per hour. Pretty strong winds right there. And looking at our extended forecast, 71 degrees tomorrow, 30% chance of rain in the evening, and that's going to continue on to the night where we might see 100% chance of showers. And then it's going to keep getting cooler. Saturday, we're going to see some of those rains again, 70% chance there. And as we get into the work week next week, Monday, 45 degrees, and it's just going to keep getting cooler. So I'm going to throw it over on a Michael Drab Show with your daily dose of sports.
Thanks, Josh. The Bobcats get set to take on Ball State, and another Ohio volleyball player earned some honors. Next on Newswatch. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
My granddaughter is named June Elizabeth, but I call her Junebug. My hope is to teach her about kindness and about the love of animals and nature. I want Junebug to have the same opportunities I had by watching PBS. My husband and I feel so strongly about our PBS station that we've included them in our estate plan. PBS is part of our values, and we want to pass it on to the next generation.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back, I'm Michael Drapcho. If I told you that Jerron Simmons turned the ball over 9 times and Kenny Kaminsky went 0 of 8 from the field against Tennessee State, you'd probably think the Bobcats lost. Surprisingly, though, that wasn't the case Monday night. Fueled by a pair of freshmen, Ohio mounted a second-half comeback and eked out the 75-67 win. Freshman guard Jordan Dardis led Ohio with 17 points on 5 of 9 shooting from three-point range, and freshman forward Gavin Block also chipped in 12 points. The Bobcats now have their eyes set on the Virgin Islands as they are heading there for the Paradise Jam this weekend. Their first game in the Paradise Jam is Friday against Tulsa. Heading over to the gridiron now, the Bobcat football team is now bowl eligible thanks to its win over Kent State last week. But that doesn't mean Ohio doesn't want to add to its win total of 6. The Bobcats have a chance to get win number 7 on senior night tonight as they're taking on Ball State. Now the Cardinals are just 3-7, and the Bobcat defense will try to continue its stingy play from last week when it only gave up a total of 191 yards against Kent State. Kickoff at Peton is set for 7 o'clock. A Bobcat volleyball player was named MAC East Player of the Week for the 7th time this season when Meredith Ashley was named MAC East Defensive Player of the Week today. The senior libero led Ohio to a pair of sweeps last week as she totaled 38 digs in the team's wins over both Buffalo and Akron. Ashley had quite a season, as this is the 4th time she has been named MAC East Defensive Player of the Week in 2015. Ashley and the rest of the Bobcats will be back in action Saturday when they play in the MAC Championship semifinals. Their opponent for that match has yet to be determined. And speaking of honors, Gridiron Glory will announce its Player of the Year this Friday. And if you haven't cast your vote yet, don't worry, there's still time to vote. But you might want to hurry up because today is the last day to vote. The finalists are Logan quarterback Lane Little, Trimble running back Justice Jenkins, Maysville running back Chase Roberts, Athens running back Zakiah Saltzman, and last but certainly not least, Alexander running back Mason Chapman. To vote, head on over to www.woub.org/gridiron. The Cleveland Cavaliers are back in action and looking to get back in the win column tonight after picking up just their 2nd loss of the season Saturday. The 8-2 Cavaliers are in Detroit tonight to take on the 5-5 Pistons, who are losers of 4 straight. And to make matters worse for Detroit, LeBron James has been on an absolute tear as of late. In his last 5 games, King James has averaged 31.8 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 7.2 assists per game. Tip-off for that game is scheduled for 7:30. Undefeated no more. The Cincinnati Bengals dropped their first game last night, putting them at 8-1 for the season. The 10-6 loss came at the hands of the Houston Texans, and the Bengals struggled offensively in this one, only totaling 256 yards against Houston. Quarterback Andy Dalton went 22 for 38 for 197 yards and 1 interception. And the Bengals got on the board with a field goal in the first quarter and tacked on another one in the second, sending them into halftime with a 6-3 lead, and it stayed like that until TJ Yates connected with DeAndre Hopkins for a 22-yard touchdown pass in the fourth quarter to make it 10-6. I'm Michael Drapcho, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Erica.
Oxford Dictionary's 2015 word of the year is impossible to pronounce. That's because it's not a word at all. It's an emoji. This happy yellow cartoon face shedding 2 giant tears, the official name is Face with Tears of Joy, usually used as a substitute for LOL. Every year, Oxford Dictionary picks a word that they think captured the year's biggest trends or changes in the English language.
Here's your last look at weather. 50 degrees tonight. Like I said, not too cool considering the time of year that we are in. It's going to be mostly cloudy skies soon. Not a whole lot of room there. And 71 degrees, that's going to be our temperature tomorrow. Very warm. It's also going to be very cloudy, and those clouds are going to keep rolling in until we see some rain at around 5 p.m. So one last look at the extended forecast. 71 degrees tomorrow with some rain, and that's going to temperatures are going to continue to drop until we get to the weekend. We're going to see some rain on Saturday, and as we start the work week, it's going to be pretty chilly. So Erica, back to you.
Thanks, Josh. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you for watching. I'm Erica King. Stay tuned for the PBS News Hour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of